You know, we often talk about physical connection like it's just about chemistry, touch, timing, technique. But what if I told you the moment before the moment is what makes all the difference? That the seconds right before a man enters you emotionally, physically, spiritually, are not just a lead in, they are everything. There's something undeniably powerful about stillness, especially in moments charged with anticipation. Most people underestimate what stillness can communicate. They rush, they fidget, they fill the silence with nervous chatter or movements, trying to control or prepare for what's about to happen. But what if you did the opposite? What if, right before the most intimate moment, you simply became still, calm, present, and grounded in your body? That one choice can shift the entire energy in the room. It sends a signal that you are not seeking approval, you're not nervous, you're not waiting to be chosen. You already are the moment. Confident stillness radiates ownership, not of the other person, but of yourself. It shows that you are not performing, not trying to impress. You're simply allowing the connection to deepen naturally, powerfully, without forcing anything. When a man sees that, when he feels the silence not as an awkward pause, but as an invitation into presence, it disarms him. His usual expectations, whatever they may be, start to fade. The playbook he's used to doesn't work here. And that is where the magic begins. In that space of stillness, you tell him more than words ever could. You tell him you are not afraid of intimacy, that you are connected to your own desire, your own rhythm, your own emotional depth. This makes him feel something rare vulnerability and thrill at the same time. He becomes more aware of his breath, his heartbeat, the way your energy draws him in without a single word spoken. When you create electric anticipation through confident stillness, you also create contrast. You build tension without needing to act it out. The absence of motion makes every micro expression, every breath, every gaze feel amplified. It's in those seconds where he watches your lips part slightly, where your chest rises subtly with each breath, where your eyes linger without distraction, that he begins to tremble, not because he's unsure, but because he senses the gravity of the moment. It's not just sex anymore. It's something else. Something rooted, intentional, real, and here's the key. This isn't about seduction in the traditional sense. It's not a game. It's not manipulation. It's about showing up with the full power of your presence, without noise, without pretense, without the need to be anything but what you are in that moment. Confidence doesn't always have to be loud. In fact, the quiet kind often speaks the loudest. Your stillness becomes the mirror that reflects his desire, his curiosity, his craving back at him, but now layered with something deeper than lust. He doesn't just want to touch you. He wants to know what's behind that silence, what lives in your presence, what truth he's sensing just beneath the surface. That's when desire transforms. That's when anticipation becomes electric. Eye contact is one of the most underestimated tools in building emotional and physical connection. In the moments leading up to deep intimacy, the way you look at someone can ignite something far more powerful than any physical act. When you hold someone's gaze with depth and stillness, you're not just looking at them. You're letting them see you, and not just the surface, but something raw, grounded, vulnerable, and real. This kind of eye contact isn't about trying to appear sexy or alluring. It's about being fully present, allowing your emotions to be visible without shielding or filtering them. When a man experiences that kind of gaze right before intimacy, it disrupts his pattern. He's not just reacting to physical attraction anymore, he's connecting to something human, something soulful. It makes him feel seen in a way that's rare. It invites him to drop his own guard, to step out of any performance or expectation, and just be real with you. This moment of connection, before anything physical even happens, can send waves of anticipation through him because suddenly he's no longer engaging with a body, he's engaging with a person, a presence, a force of energy that's grounded and powerful. That's the secret to emotional anchoring. When you use your eyes to hold him, you're not only making him feel safe, you're making him feel deeply wanted. Not for his body or performance, but for who he is in that moment with you, and that's a rare feeling. It flips the script. Instead of being the one who's trying to impress or lead the moment, he begins to crave your response, your energy, your emotional signal. He wants to know what you're feeling behind those eyes. He starts to pay attention to your micro expressions, the subtle shifts in your mood, the energy you radiate. The longer you hold his gaze without breaking it, the more powerful the effect becomes. It's not a stare down, it's a soft but unwavering connection. It's relaxed, open, and clear. It doesn't demand, it welcomes. It doesn't overpower, it invites. In that space, the emotional charge builds. He starts to feel not only physically drawn to you, but emotionally awakened. His nervous system picks up on your calm, grounded energy, and it regulates his. He may not even realize it, but he starts to mirror your breath, your pace, your softness. This creates a rhythm between you before anything physical even begins. A rhythm of energy, of connection, of emotional safety and tension woven together. That's the kind of connection that makes him tremble not from fear or pressure, but from the gravity of the moment. It's eye contact that says, I'm here, I see you, and I want to be seen too. That unspoken message carries more intimacy than 1,000 words. It sets the tone for what's about to happen and makes the entire experience feel like something profoundly unique, unforgettable, and real. Breath is often overlooked in moments of intimacy, yet it holds immense power to transform not just your body, but the entire energetic exchange between two people. Before anything physical begins, the way you breathe can either ground the moment or create tension. When you breathe with intention, especially in the space right before deep physical connection, you're not just calming yourself. You're syncing with him on a level that goes far beyond the surface. Breath becomes the invisible bridge between your energy and his. It allows you to anchor yourself in the present, to feel every emotion without rushing through it, and to open a silent invitation for him to do the same. There's something magnetic about a person who's deeply connected to their breath. It speaks to emotional control, confidence, and awareness. It says you're not rushing to perform, not chasing validation, but simply allowing yourself to feel. When you take slow, conscious breaths, you regulate your nervous system. Your heart rate slows, your body relaxes, and you create space not just for yourself, but for the other person to soften as well. When you're in that space of calm, your presence becomes stronger, heavier, more noticeable. You become the still point in a world that's often in a hurry. And that kind of presence is deeply attractive. As your breath deepens, his will often follow without even realizing it. This creates a nonverbal alignment, a synchronicity that draws the two of you into the same emotional wavelength. Suddenly, you're not just two people in a physical space. You're emotionally attuned, moving together without words. You're showing him how to slow down, how to drop the mental noise, how to truly experience the moment. That's when connection becomes more than chemistry, it becomes resonance. And that's what he feels when his body starts to tremble, not just from desire, but from a sense of being grounded and overwhelmed at the same time. Breathing with intention also gives you control over your energy. You can increase anticipation by deepening your breath, letting your exhale linger just a second longer. That one exhale can carry so much desire, vulnerability, surrender, readiness. When he sees you breathing that way, it tells him everything he needs to know. You're not just present, you're feeling it. You're inviting him into a space where he can stop performing and simply feel. That's when the emotional walls come down. That's when he stops thinking and starts sensing. And when he starts to sense you on that deeper level, that's when he loses control, not because you manipulated him, but because your presence unlocked something he didn't know was even there. This is what turns a physical experience into a soulful one. When you let your breath guide the moment, you create rhythm, depth, and emotional safety. You communicate without speaking, you invite without forcing. You show him that you're not just there for the act, but for the energy, the honesty, the depth that lives in the pause before anything even begins. There's something profoundly disarming about vulnerability when it's expressed with intention. In the moments leading up to intimacy, most people focus on performance, on doing the right thing, saying the right words, or creating the perfect mood. But the most unforgettable moments come not from perfection, but from truth. Whispering a truth in that sacred moment before physical connection is not about strategy. It's about surrender. It's about choosing to be real when it would be easier to hide behind roles or rehearsed lines. It's about letting him see that you're not just a body. You're a person, a heart, a soul choosing this moment with him. When you speak a truth, especially in a low, steady voice right before he enters you, it's like unlocking a deeper level of the experience. The truth doesn't have to be poetic or dramatic. It can be something simple, raw, honest. I feel so safe with you right now. I've never felt this kind of connection before. I want to remember this moment. Whatever it is, it must be real. Not said for effect, but because it's what's truly alive inside you in that moment. That kind of truth is magnetic. It bypasses logic, bypasses ego, and goes straight into the emotional core. When a man hears that kind of truth in such a vulnerable moment, it does something to him. It humbles him. It pulls him out of the chase and into presence. It reminds him that this is not a performance. It's a moment between two human beings choosing to experience something together. It breaks down the walls that often surround physical encounters and invites in a softness, a sincerity that lingers long after the moment is over. He starts to feel not only aroused but emotionally impacted. The intimacy becomes layered, not just physical but emotional, psychological, energetic. Your truth becomes a mirror that reflects something inside him he may not have connected to in a long time. It shows him that it's okay to feel, that desire and tenderness can exist in the same breath, that intensity doesn't have to be aggressive. It can be gentle, respectful, even sacred. And when he feels that, when he senses that you are not afraid of emotional exposure, it gives him permission to do the same, to show up without armor, to feel deeply, to be present not just as a man, but as a partner in this moment of shared energy. Whispering a truth also slows time. It creates pause. It tells his nervous system, stay here. Don't rush. Don't escape into thought or fear. Just be here with me. And in doing so, you take what could have been just another moment of desire and turn it into something extraordinary. He won't forget what you said, not because of the words themselves, but because of what they carried, your honesty, your presence, your emotional availability. That's the kind of moment that echoes in his memory long after the night ends, because it wasn't rehearsed, it wasn't a tactic, it was real. Touch, in its most powerful form, is not just a physical act. It's a declaration. when you touch him in a way that says, "I choose this." You shift the entire emotional framework of the moment. It's no longer about reacting to what he wants or responding to his moves. It becomes about you claiming the moment, owning your desire, and communicating through your fingertips something deeper than lust. That kind of touch carries confidence, clarity, and conviction. It tells him that you're not just allowing this to happen. You're actively choosing him, choosing this connection, choosing to be fully present in the moment. So much of physical intimacy becomes passive. People wait for the other to make the move, to initiate, to lead. But the energy completely changes when you make the conscious decision to initiate touch with purpose. It can be something as subtle as placing your hand gently on his chest and pausing there, feeling the beat of his heart, or tracing your fingers along his jawline with tenderness. What matters is not the move itself, but the intention behind it. When your touch is slow, deliberate, and present, it carries emotional weight. It signals that this moment matters to you, that you're not detached or distracted, but deeply tuned in. That kind of intentional touch makes him feel chosen. It tells him that this isn't about performance or obligation. It's about connection. And when a man feels chosen in that way, something inside him melts. He drops into a softer, more grounded version of himself. His need to perform fades, and he becomes more receptive, more attuned to your energy. The moment becomes less about seeking validation and more about mutual experience. He starts to feel safe in your touch, not because it's gentle, but because it's clear. It says, "I'm here and I want this with you." Your hands become an extension of your emotional presence. They communicate what words cannot. They can say, "I trust you," "I'm here with you," "You matter to me," without a single sound being spoken. That level of nonverbal communication builds anticipation in a way no words could. He begins to feel not just wanted, but deeply valued. Not just turned on, but emotionally connected. And that's where real intimacy is born, from the interplay of physical and emotional intention. When you touch him with that kind of presence, the experience becomes transformative. He's not just feeling your skin, he's feeling your choice, your openness, your emotion moving through your body. It's not about technique. It's about energy. It's about allowing your hands to speak for your heart. And when he senses that, it changes everything. What could have been a moment of fleeting pleasure becomes a moment of meaning, of depth, of something far more unforgettable. Because in that kind of touch, he doesn't just feel desired. He feels honored, accepted, and deeply seen. Energy speaks long before words ever do. In that quiet, sacred moment right before physical intimacy, what you radiate is more powerful than anything you say. Letting your energy speak means allowing the full essence of who you are to fill the space between you. It's the look in your eyes, the calm of your breath, the way you hold yourself, not trying to be anything, not performing, just being asterisk. When a man feels that kind of energy from you, it disrupts the script he's used to. It makes him pause. It pulls him into presence. He begins to experience you not just as a physical being, but as a force, alive, intentional, and unapologetically present. Most people underestimate the impact of unspoken energy. They think words and actions carry all the weight, but energy is what lingers. It's what wraps around the moment and gives it meaning. When your energy is open, soft, but grounded, it invites him into something deeper than just physical connection. It says, without a single word, "This is real. I'm here. I want you, but I'm also holding myself." That balance between openness and self-possession is intoxicating. It creates a magnetic field between you that builds anticipation without needing to rush toward anything. Letting your energy lead means trusting your body and your presence to do the work your mind is often trying to control. It means letting go of the need to impress, seduce, or say the right thing. It means stepping fully into the moment and allowing your desire, your truth, your calm power to be felt through the silence. And when that happens, he doesn't just feel turned on. He feels captivated. Not because you did something dramatic, but because you didn't. You simply showed up with your full essence and allowed it to be seen. He'll notice the way you move without trying, the stillness in your body that communicates trust, the way your gaze lingers not because it's rehearsed, but because you're genuinely there. He'll feel the slow pulse of your energy syncing with his, grounding him, pulling him in. And in that space, his experience of you deepens. He starts to tremble not from anxiety or tension, but from surrender, sir, entering to a moment that feels bigger than just the physical, a moment where energy, emotion, and intention align. Your energy is what leaves the lasting imprint. It's what he'll think about long after the moment is over. He may not remember every word you said or every movement you made, but he'll remember how it felt to be near you. He'll remember how the room shifted when you were fully present. He'll remember the weight of your stillness, the warmth of your gaze, the silent message of your body that didn't demand, didn't beg, didn't chase, but simply invited, owned, and expressed with clarity. That's the kind of energy that doesn't just attract, it stays with him.